What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and then today we're going to take our 2021 ZX10R for its very first ride ever. Yeah, that's right, boys. We got a brand new ZX10R 2021 with 0 miles. We've warmed it up a couple times so far, kind of sort of heat cycled the engine a few times, got it broke in, you know, a tiny little smidge, but now we're about to take it for its first ever test ride. It is a nice sunny day here in South Carolina, about 60 degrees, so it should be pretty nice. We're gonna get mic'd up and go for a ride. I'm gonna show you a little bit about this thing and show you what my first impressions of this bike are. We've also, if you follow me on Instagram, go follow me there. We've got a poll up for what do we wanna do with this bike. I bought this bike 100% as a YouTube project. I have zero intentions or ideas of what I want to do with it. So I want you guys to comment or vote on the poll and let me know what you want to do. But for now, for one, shout out to Species Clothing Company for sending me this nice hoodie to wear to keep me warm on this December day. I do appreciate them. Shout out to Species Clothing. Thank you so much for the hoodie. But for now, let's see if I can make this happen. All right, boys. 0 miles, first ride ever on the new ZX10. We've let it warm up a little bit. Now we're going to take it for its first ever ride. It is on sport mode, so we're going to make a few laps in the parking lot and just kind of seat the brakes in and get this thing where it'll stop. So this is a brand spanking new bike. Literally, it's never been ridden before at all. And seating the brakes in is very important. So right now I'm on the brakes pretty hard, don't want to stop. So that's always something you have to, basically you're just scuffing the brake pads in, getting them to where they will work. So we're just working on the rear brake right now, starting to get a little bit out of it. So initial impressions, first thing I feel off the bike is, of course, it's super quiet. They put so many mufflers and catalytic converters on these things, and to make these things meet emissions and standards and all that stuff, it really takes a lot, you know, away from the bikes. But now, before we pull into the road, we're going to do a little burnout. Scuff the tire in. That ought to be good. Nice little smoke show. And here we go, boys. Alright, kind of get our mirrors adjusted a little bit. 0 miles. So this thing has all sorts of settings and cool stuff on it. You can see it we had 28 minutes of total run time on it. Let me know what you guys think of this video too. I've never really done, or this is not really what I do, bike reviews on my channel, but I know everybody's excited about this thing and wants to hear, you know, kind of from a drag racer's perspective, what I think about this thing. Now you'll notice the check engine light is blinking. I have no idea why. I've never done anything with the bike besides crank it up and let it idle, and you know, hold the throttle on the RPMs on for a few seconds to let it just kind of get heat in the motor and break in. So we may see that go away here in just a second. I'm gonna take this little shortcut I know through the gas station parking lot. This video is going to be coming out maybe the day after Christmas. So I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and New Year's is right around the corner, boys. I know we're all excited about that. 2020 kind of sort of didn't work out for for about everybody, really. I mean, 2020 sucked, let's be honest. So we're going to be taking it super easy on this little curvy road. Our tires are, of course, brand new, super slick, and It is a little chilly outside. Like I said, it is December here in South Carolina. It is about 60 degrees. First initial impressions, the way the bike handles, it feels a lot like a 2019 or 2020. I can't say that I can tell a huge difference just riding it so far. The engine does sound really smooth and really quiet. Now, I've got it in sport mode now. I don't really know what sport mode means compared to the other modes. I am just like most guys. I did not read the book. I did play with some of the options on the gauges and stuff like that. Now, that's fourth gear. We just accelerated wide open. Feels pretty lifeless. Of course, we're only going slow, so you can't expect much. Just hit the auto blip. Get a little bit out of it. We still only got 1 mile on it, so we don't want to beat on it too much. I don't really believe in a 500-mile break-in period. We're on about the 4th heat cycle with this thing. So, in my opinion, once you put about 10 heat cycles on them, meaning fully cold to operating temperature / hot, that's the end of it. You're wasting your time after that. All the bikes I see that come in to my shop and go on my dyno that have been ridden hard the first 500 miles, they all make more horsepower than the guy that says he babied his and petted it, you know, for 500 miles, taking it super easy. So take it for what you want. So when you use the quick shifter, it's like it lags really bad. So when you shift, like, you feel the bike fall on its face. So there's the auto blip, quick shift, quick shift. It feels fine just cruising, but whenever you go to accelerate, I really felt it lag back there. Now, granted, we are on neighborhood streets obeying all traffic laws, but that was just initial impression. I can tell they have tons of restriction in the ECU, because right there, second gear, I mean, this is a ZX10. Come on, guys. It literally has nothing down low. You can tell they're really holding it back. I'm gonna stop at this red light and see if I can change it. It's actually a green light, but we're still stopping. Change the modes and see if we can put it in the rider mode, because I set that up a while ago. Maybe it's got a little more power in rider mode. All right, rider 1. Now we got traction control off. So I don't know if that turns off wheelie control too. We'll find out. At first gear. So you can tell it's definitely restricted and really held back. It and like I said, the quick shifter is really hesitant on it. So I'm shifting it at like 10,000 RPMs. I don't know, you guys probably see good, but we don't want to beat on the little guy too hard just yet. We're just trying to load the motor, different RPM ranges, different stuff like that. As far as comfort, the bike actually is pretty comfortable. I'm old, I'm 35 years old, so, and I'm not like in everyday riding shape. I don't put a lot of miles on the street on these things. I know a lot of you guys have asked that in other videos, you know, what do I go ride on the road? To be honest with you, I ride my little pit scooter a lot. I have a Honda PCX 150. I may occasionally ride it to lunch or something in the summertime, but for the most part, drag race only. I don't put a lot of street miles on. So usually if I ride just a little bit, my wrist hurts. But this bike is not bad. I'm liking the way it feels so far. But man, I cannot wait to get into the ECU on this thing. It's I feel like it's really gonna gain a lot. First gear, smack it. You can tell it started to wheelie just a little bit, at about 10,000 RPMs. And then it felt like maybe the wheelie control started to cut it back. It was starting to go a little bit. Like I said, the wheelie control, and then I hit the shifter too because I don't want to rev it that high just yet. But it was starting to cut it back. Alright guys, so we are about to roll on to a bigger road. So the main thing, I guess you'd say, complaints with this thing so far is really just how much restriction there is in the ECU. Like a 1000cc bike, definitely supposed to be faster than this. So just then I accelerated first gear and I shifted at 10,000, so it started to wheelie. And as soon as it started to wheelie, I didn't let off, but I hit the quick shifter. And when I hit the quick shifter, it nosedives fast. I mean, it just literally fell on its face. And I don't know if that's because the quick shifter has hesitation. I would think with the K-track turned off, the traction control, that the wheelie control should work. I don't know, we'll see what traffic looks like with me. So it's wheeling in second gear that time. The quick shifter is definitely what's holding it back. It's not the traction control, so the wheelie control is off officially. We did learn that just now because it was wanting a wheelie, and when you hit the shifter is when it nosedives. So maybe we'll be able to tune that out some in the ECU. So far guys, what are your initial impressions of this thing? What are you thinking of it? So on rider mode, which I have on full power, have the K-track off, we look at the throttle response. You can I don't know, it's just, they're definitely not giving us all 1000cc motorcycle just yet. If you bought one of these things and think it's fast, you're definitely in for a big surprise once the ECU flashing capabilities are out, because this thing will be super cool once that stuff is done. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the way it looks too. Let me know in the comments below, how do you like the looks of this thing? Does it look in the videos and stuff, I guess you say, do you like the way it looks better than the pictures that Kawasaki initially released? There were some angles I looked at it and thought it was ugly, and then there was some angles I looked at it and thought it was pretty cool looking. So overall, now that I own it, I feel like it's a pretty cool looking bike. I can't wait to lower it down a little bit and stuff. So once we get the thing broke into, we'll put a draggy on it, and I'm going to take it out and try to do some 60 to 130 times with the draggy and see what we can get out of this thing, 60 to 130. And then we're going to do some simple mods like putting a Brock's Performance front end lowering strap. What that does is that basically compresses the front forks. It's a simple bolt-on modification for not a lot of money that we can put on there that'll improve our 60 to 130 times a ton. Even if you're not a drag racer, if you're just, you know, racing your buddy on the highway, roll-ons and stuff, but you still like to go to the mountains and hit the twisties, you can just push the button and totally reverse the mod in 30 seconds. You know, you can take your bike from a roll-on monster to something that's ready to hit the turns. So it doesn't take a lot with that. That's a cheap mod, and I'm going to show you how effective that is. You know, and we're going to ride this thing hard once we get a few miles on it for the 60 to 130 times and show you what this thing will do. And then, of course, we're going to eventually put exhaust on it. We're going to put sprockets on it. We're going to learn what all the little mods do, coming from the perspective of a drag racer, someone like myself who has been 233 miles per hour on a motorcycle We're gonna do all the little stuff that I know counts and makes the biggest difference. So if you are new to the channel, if you are, this is your first time watching, be sure to subscribe, click that bell for notifications so you get all the info whenever we put each video out. But for today's video, guys, we are back to home base here at More Mafia headquarters. That's what I look like right there. And as always, guys, be sure to smash that like button, give us a good old thumbs up. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and a happy 2021 coming up, guys. Have a good one. See you next time.